stupid. And then he won one tournament, they're like, maybe numbers are still okay, but I can't be bothered. And then he won 2 tournaments after he won the World Championship, like 3 months after he won the World Championship, and that's when people are like, maybe numbers are okay.
Hey, Monk, give me your numbers, quick!
Yeah.
Monk, please tell us your numbers. Help.
All right. Let's get into it. Monsanto keeps quest. McBanterFace keeps quest. We got ourselves a game.
Yep,
other than that,
they've got in common.
Yeah, they both keep quest in the mulligan. Tuskpiercer is a pretty decent draw. Outside of that, he was looking at a whole lot of nothing. Mr. Banterface, I mean, Altar Fire at any point in this game can just win, right? Like,
yep. I imagine you want to alter sooner rather than later, because you want at the end of the game the deck is 5 or 6 cards plus 2 or 3 tradables that you don't mind getting burned. Whereas at the start of the game, there's less percentage of tradables in there. That's all I've got as any sort of advantage as to when to...
I think it's the opposite.
Oh.
Because Il'gynoth is more likely to be in the deck the longer the game goes on because you don't want it. You're going to glide it away and wait till it's cheaper.
But the trouble is, you want to... So you're saying you want to alter straight after the glide, which obviously has a problem. But if your alters are in your deck, you can draw them off the glide. That's a fair point.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the real answer is it really doesn't matter. It's going to burn 3 cards no matter what, and those 3 cards are going to be pretty random no matter what.
Everything matters, TJ. How dare you suggest that the butterfly effect does not exist?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
McBanterFace could burn 3 of his opponent's cards in this match, and somewhere in Australia a butterfly would then flap its wings. I think that's how it works.
Demons?
Perfect explanation of the butterfly effect. Well done.
Thank you.
Balls all around.
You would get one right eventually, TJ. You couldn't hold me back. Right, Monsanto part 1 has been done. Looks like he has decent enough hand to get on with some more parts going forwards as well. So he's in a good spot. McBanterFace. It's much harder to assess this ever since the nerf to the rod, but he seems to be chugging along okay as well, although the Flesh Giant's still a bit too expensive.
Yep. Alright. Monsanto gonna over-equip the Tuskpiercer and get the swing in now. He could have done this next turn for the extra draw, but he could always trade back the Peddler, then draw it again with the Tuskpiercer, and just that plus Acrobatics is enough to complete the second portion of the quest going to the next turn. So has got that all nice and lined up. Banterface has a decision on his hands whether or not to just play out a null or tippity tap.
More bones to gnaw.
I think against Demon Hunter, individual minions are irritating for the Demon Hunter to deal with, so nulls are okay, and tour guides don't count.
Mr. Banterface is going to go with both. Raised Dead is great pickup too. It's going to help complete the quest faster, get the Snow back, play the Flesh Giant, pretty much all the things that you want to be doing. Oh, okay.
Yep. We'll reduce this rubbish, but hey, whatever. Arcanist is okay to reduce.
So he just needs the one more. So he could just go I-beam hit.
Demons.
Yeah, he clearly gave it a lot of thought and then decided against it, but that did look like a tasty play.
Yeah, maybe he didn't want to give a Raised Dead minion over to McBanterFace just to limit his potential plays the next turn.
Mm-hmm. And that's worked, if that was the reason. Monsanto did tweet that he needs to be a bit sharper, or a lot sharper in this matchup, or he will lose. He was not happy with himself in the previous match at all. Predictably.
Those are the kind of hard-hitting tweets that we want. I need to play good, or I'm going to lose.
No, but he was like, I need to play good because I just played rubbish, or I'll lose.
All right, Altar Fire. Got to pay attention to this. I-beam Illidari Studies Fell Scream Blast.
Okay.
Are the three. Il'gynoth's still preserved, but having access to only one Fellscream Blast could be a problem here. A lot of times you want one to heal up and buy yourself a couple more turns, and then the second to kill. Now only have access to one. Now, and only one to I-beam as well, so his options to actually kill with the combo are pretty limited. So that just puts more of a premium on Immolation Aura. Monsanto can actually go Boarg, Immolation Aura, and Glide to complete the quest in the same turn.
Just going to point out there, with what you just said as well, that holding onto the I-beam the turn before is probably related to all that. Just giving yourself an extra bit of damage at the end of the game, hanging around.
Yep.
Right, gets rid of the combo pieces, looks for good cards. That's good, that's good. Good.
Yeah, a Glide slid beautifully into outcast position. Just looking for a safe Kurtrus. Which he'll get a reasonably safe Kurtrus. And by reasonably safe, I mean he won't be dead on board.
Maybe.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Oh no, he would be dead on board.
At this rate, he will with these raised deads you're looking at, right?
Yeah, oh, because if McBanterFace goes raised in and hits Tour Guide.
Yeah.
Oh no, he still wouldn't be dead. He'd
got two raised deads.
Yeah. Can he get Null and Flesh Giant down this turn?
Yeah.
That's the big question.
He can if he hits a Null.
Almost out of time.
Which he does.
Flesh Giant.
More bones to gnaw on.
There's the lethal out there. Do you want to Kurtrus through it and take your chance?
Here for the tour.
Might not have a choice. So he's showing us Guild Trader Immolation Aura that he's seen it, but is that really? Doesn't that just delay things if your opponent has got it, and you still haven't played your Kurtrus?
Demons.
Well, so let's say he Guild Trader Immolation Aura. Next turn he go like Kurtrus I-beam if he were to pick it up because he has double jump.
Sure. That's fair.
Yeah, he's just going to
risk. Say got it. I do wonder if you can work out, because McBanterFace played both raised deads, if you can work out this was a setup for lethal, but can't argue it really.
Another happy guildie.
That's game one. A quick one.
Very quick. McBanterFace digging with the double raised dead. Monsanto? They're merging.
I told you they're similar. Hard to get it out of your head now.
Yeah, he knew that was kind of very likely, but he did take the chance that if the Kurtrus sticks, he can just win the game. We saw Gabby take a far less risky one earlier today, but in a similar position where he could be dead if he left it up against a Paladin, but probably wasn't going to be. But yeah, McBanterFace getting one out of the way early. And looking good for it, honestly.
Yeah, I'd say that's a huge win. Monsanto seemed to be chugging along, right? But, you know, that's where Handlock's strengths come in. It's just its ability to get those big threats down early on in the game. And with Battlemaster, the payoff was there. At that point, it was pretty much a 50-50 whether or not it was in the deck, because McBanterFace was about halfway through. So I like the risk by Monsanto. I don't think you need to try and get...
Yeah, I think so.
Like you mentioned, you go with Guild Trader Immolation Aura, you still leave the Flesh Giant on board, but you're still going to be in the exact same position next turn. Very likely. So you might as well just get it down while you can. Monsanto, though, going to move over to the Garrote Rogue. Try and get things done on this front. Warlock out of the way, which means he's either going to be hitting the Face Hunter or a Garrote Rogue Mirror, actually.
Which is actually one of my... I think my favourite matchup is Garrote Rogue versus OTK Demon Hunter. But I think the Garrote Rogue Mirror might be my second favourite matchup to watch. Just because I always end up saying, hey, it's a race, and somebody always ends up going wide and nearly winning before they lose the race. It's always good fun.
Yeah. Well,
Have I just made myself incredibly unpopular or something by saying that? Sorry.
it's a weird mirror matchup for sure. I don't know if it's contested, but it's weird. McBanterFace is going to play the McBanterFace Hunter to start things off here in his second game. And this is actually one of my favorite matchups because like you have to find this balance of face damage and board control, right? As the face hunter. And as the rogue, this balance between tempo and draw, right? It's can be very interesting.
Yeah. So what we've both said is that rogue is interesting because there's different ways of playing it depending on what you're playing against.
Sure. Yeah.
Something like that.
We're also very similar.
We are, TJ. We are. We have. We always seem to cast on the same days of the week as each other.
Yep. Our handles both have the same amount of letters. Lorinda, 7. Azumo Cutie, 7.
Okay, that's good. That's a good start.
Yep.
We talk about boats a lot.
We're both American.
We're both Americans. Yep. Absolutely. We are both better than Sottle at everything.
Yep. Almost forgot about that one.
Yeah, it's easy to forget about because he's pretty forgettable, you know?
True.
We have just broken the record for the longest amount of time in the broadcast without mentioning Sottle. We did pretty well there. We'll save the full broadcast for Sunday. Yeah. But we nearly got there. Meanwhile, McBanterFace has got a pretty good hand, and once again, nobody ever plays Felmore anymore off the coin, so why is it in the deck? Is the big burning question of the day.
So you followed up on 2, that's why. I do think Monsanto could certainly get away with an Octobot here, though he might be worried about the possibility of Adorable Infestation, but I think it's probably worth the risk.
Yeah, I would agree. Especially, and I know you shouldn't think like this, but you've got another one. Like, you'll probably get away with it coupled with the fact you've got another one is a fairly good mix.
Yeah. And this Octobot is awkward for a number of reasons. One, you kind of want to activate it before Monsanto is able to do what he wants on his turn. But then it kind of just contests the board, like at least some of it, right? These 1/1s. You're going to trade 3/2 and a 1/1 into it? That doesn't seem
you want to quick shot it?
Particularly good. I really want to get the Imprisoned Felmall down.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh, man.
But I think that was part of the decision, like, you've got to get rid of the Octobot. So then you've got to play the Felmore, but quick shotting it is so much more efficient in terms of keeping the board. But yeah, this was kind of... I saw why he turned his nose up, put it that way. This looks horrible, but it's the best play.
Yeah. All right, so now we're in some interesting territory. The Felmall, no way to proc the second Octobot in hand is a little awkward. I wouldn't mind just seeing like Neophyte, Brain Freeze, Wand Thief, Dagger. Or Neophyte, Wand Thief to start things off.
Barrier's pretty good. Normally Intellect is the default auto take. What do you want?
I don't think Barrier... It's too slow. I don't think you spend 3 mana. I think you need to be furthering your own game plan instead of just trying to block damage.
I've got another Octobot.
All right. Well, he's going to play the Octobot now, and the next turn he has the option to go for Secret Passage or Arcane Intellect, and then get this Octobot nice and procced.
Yep. The passage with the Octobot's usually pretty ridiculously good. McBanterFace. Having the most bantery face that we've seen him with, actually. A couple of sort of camera looks and smiles. Sage nods.
Looking for some big stuff here.
Yeah.
Contact brain freeze is
Yep,
quite
yep.
good.
Yep.
Man. All of this is good.
Yeah, the more you look at swindles and brain freezers and more passages and... really tough. All right, you want to kill off the 3/4, so you want to play the brain freeze. So there's either the swindle or the extra tempo with the card draw. Yeah, I think when you break it down that way, it makes it a bit easier.
This Prison Felmall is going to be huge.
Really is. Bam. Head Octobot.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
So this is the turn when McBanterFace has to plan to about turn 7. I mean, I would waste some money here. I'd quick shot the Field Surgeon and I would give my 5/3 Divine Shield.
Oh yeah, the Field Surgeon. Oh yeah.
There's always a surgeon. It's never ever contacted anybody. Just mends things. Like mana curves. I don't know where I got that from. But I've called it that the whole time forever.
That's an upgrade. Probably.
Yep, 1 mana murdered in cold blood, but I think it's the correct play.
Ooh. Okay. And Wand Thief and Prize Plunderer, and then trade with the remaining mana. Just try and fight for board a little bit more. Starting to get to the territory, though, where you'd want to have, like, a pretty solid lead onto the board. Actually just going to fill the mana with Font of Power. Jandis would be interesting here. Maybe he wants to go for a bigger swing with Prize Plunderer.
Jandis would be interesting.
I mean, it would honestly be pretty good.
I mean, yeah, it would.
Ooh.
And now I can double plunder if he wants.
Yeah, this board is not very conducive to a double plunderer, though. That's the issue.
Bless you.
Issue.
Bless you. All right, the barracks down. It's a 3/5. That's it. That's the turn.
Well, this is the opening
And
for
misses the
Monsanto.
wife.
Yep. With no ogre picked up, Monsanto now knows that McBanterFace's hand is just all damage. So,
Yeah.
and it feels weird putting a 5/2 with Divine Shield into a 2/1, but Prize Plunder has to be the priority number 1. I don't think you're... maybe with a handful of spells you are worried about a Shadow Step on a Quillia fight, but other than that, it doesn't have like an immediate impact on the board, at least to the extent that Prize Plunderer has.
Why can't I just put it into your face and then you're 5 health less than you were?
Sure, but that would put him to 24, and, you know, that's... He still needs many, many turns. Many.
But I mean, I think you're right. But 29's even more than 20.
Oh!
He wasn't sure himself.
He missed!
Sure. He missed. His mouse slipped.
Whoops!
Oh no. Just couldn't bring. It's like he went to do it and he got overridden by the part of his brain that doesn't let 5/2s trade into 2/1s. It's like, no, just cannot do this. I'm sorry. I'm taking the wheel.
He had like this, field contact off the Shroud, which means it's stealthed.
Okay, that's useful.
And,
Sure.
I mean, is there a Ridling's rifle in his deck? Actually, it doesn't matter.
There actually is, as it happens.
Yeah, I was gonna say he could get like explosive, and then Monsanto could be like, I don't know what secret it is, and then attacks phase and kills us on field contact, but that would never happen. But it will get a full turn. Oh, there it was. Just the next card.
Why has McBanterFace suddenly got bantery? That's what I want to know.
McBanterFace had a realization last turn when he went face, like one of those, epic movie moments. If he was the protagonist of some movie,
Like where you get little
the final
L's
moments.
Yeah,
And his some superhero movie, and he goes, "My name is not McBanter Trade. I am McBanterFace."
and then he just banters up and off he goes and just banters all over the enemy.
Just banners all over him. Goes face, wins the game,
Saves the day.
The day, whatever needed saving in the story that McBanterFace was the hero of.
And then just goes back to his Tuesday night DJ job as Mr. Banterface that no one even knows that he saved the world.
Yep.
But he could clear the board and save himself a lot of damage. Apart from troublesome field contact.
I really want to get value out of these durable infestations. They also put some annoying minions on board and get the most expensive card, yet max damage possible. This is a 2-turn lethal setup. Next turn's got 10 from hand. Needs 1 minion to stick on board.
Is that his alter ego?
What?
Max damage. Sorry.
You're paying for my discretion.
Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, and max damage.
For my discretion.
Oh,
Right.
Garrote picked up. Monsanto needs 11 damage. Shadow Step? Okay.
That's relevant because
That should upgrade.
no, you can't give any extra damage, any extra spell damage, but it'd be relevant because you could try and get into. So it's only 2 Garrotes needed into the face instead of 3.
He doesn't have anything to put spell damage on, but yeah. That's what.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's why it's not
Yeah.
as relevant as I hoped. Well, he knows there's a load of spells in hand, so he could just drop the neophyte.
Choose soon.
Oh, he's dead.
He's real dead. Needs prize plunderer right now. Passage.
Did he need to Garrote here and just try and draw into a chain of Garrotes, which was really, really unlikely? Was that possibly better?
Nope. I think it might have. I think maybe Garrote was the play. Honestly, he would have needed all 3 bleeds from that Garrote to be pulled out, and he would have had maximum 3 draws from that stage.
Yeah, he didn't need to be lucky, but it was possible. It wasn't like ridiculous.
Yeah.
He was pretty low on cards in deck, like 7 or 8 at the point, so yeah, it was a tough spot to be in, and with that deck you have to make decisions on the fly. I think it's probably okay, but I'd have liked to see the Garrote go in there.
Yep. But there you have it. McBanterFace 2-0 up in the series. Only needs to win with his Garrote Rogue in order to make it into that top 4. It would be huge for him. Very first season of Grandmasters to make it all the way to top 4, defeating the #1 seed and the #1 seed's main practice partner for the season, all in one group. I was going to say sidekick, but I think that would be disrespectful language hacker. In the context of standing, sure, but I don't think that's the case. I think they both equally contribute to their, what is it called, symbiotic relationship?
That's the one, yeah. Where one thing relies on the other, which relies on the other. And Monsanto and Hacker definitely have that. Like, one fuels the deck and the other fuels the clapping, and they just feed off each other.
Yep.
More decks, more claps, off you go.
And then there's a hat,
Yep. But we decided that even Mr. Banterface has a hat.
Everybody
He has to wear it when he's disguising himself in public.
Yeah, when he goes for his alter ego and does his side DJing gig as MC Banterface, all he does is take off his regular glasses and puts on prescription sunglasses.
Yeah.
It's literally
And then nobody knows who he is.
Nobody knows who he is. And then he parts his hair to the other side. And that's it.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's it. Easy transformation.
Just-
But there it is. The final deck needed to get across the finish line. At least the first finish line. The Friday finish line. And then the Sunday finish line is it's the same length of a race, but under much harsher conditions.
So this is like the qualifying lap, is what you're trying to say. That's the phrase you're looking for, right?
Sure. Yep. Yeah, I don't know any racing terms whatsoever.
You do now. It's the qualifying lap, which is the lap before the race.
Gotcha. Okay. But is this still part of the race? Whatever. Conversation.
So the people who go the fastest on the qualifying lap get the best positions on the race when it happens at the start of the race.
So the qualifying race was the regular season. So this is...
Yes. See, you do understand. I knew I could teach you this, right?
But so that would mean that this is not the qualifying race. This is like the first half. Yeah.
I know,
first
but I
half.
tricked you into admitting you understood, and that's all that matters.
Okay. Gotcha. Whew. Glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
It's eating at me for some time. All right. Monsanto going to go with Handlock first against the Garrote Rogue. McBanterFace is going to keep Shroud of Concealment on the play. I mean, pretty much you're just looking for anything that feeds your deck or makes your cards cheaper. Octobot, Field Contact, Shroud. Sometimes
It is slow,
if you have the hand to support it.
It is slow, which I assume is why you exclaimed a little bit at, oh, he's keeping the Shroud. It's kind of a slow play.
Yeah, but I think you'd rather keep that than nothing. So, okay. Oh, there you go.
And prep as well, just in case you wanted to do it quicker than the speed I was saying you were going to do it at.
Mm-hmm. That hits a Field Contact. McBanterFace is cooking.
What's he cooking?
Monsanto's.
Cooking Monsanto. Not, I was going to say Monsanto's what, but you just mean he's cooking Monsanto's. Like his Monsanto is cooked. He's cooked the golden Monsanto. It's the Monsanto that laid the golden egg. Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, I mean, this is looking very similar to McBanterFace's hand in game number 1, where Monsanto has Null, Tour Guide, Raised Dead.
Shroud. It's a double plunderer.
All right. Well,
they're going to cost nothing, so that's something.
yeah.
Kind of.
Still needs a Field Contact, though. But then he'd be cooking.
I'm not even going to ask what he... What would he be cooking, TJ?
Monsanto's.
You here for the tour?
He would. I knew that. Wise man taught me that at least 30 seconds ago.
This is like yours and my version of Who's on First.
I genuinely don't know what that is.
Oh, okay, cool.
It sounds like it's a baseball reference, which I do know what it is, but I don't know what the thing is.
I'm not.
Like, who's on first? Like the guy who hasn't got to second yet?
So many options.
So how much tempo do you, if any, is necessary here? I think no matter what you do, you could start with a guild trader, trade away. Or, I mean, I guess you could just discount this hand. And then when you do draw Field Contact, it's really good. And this is also tempo.
I think this might be the right amount of tempo because getting soul rendered is bad.
Mm-hmm.
So the best way to make tempo without getting soul rendered immediately is to play a neophyte. But you're going to get soul rendered if you play too many things. So you've got to play just one neophyte. I like it. You oof, but it's really a 4-mana Anetheron.
You are defenders of a doom.
What?
Kind of.
All right.
It's got
Okay.
nothing else to do,
No,
but
I
the Null's
follow
better
you.
than I
I follow you. Yeah. So this is a 4-mana Anethron, and that would make that a 0-mana Null.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But it was only a 1-mana Null in the first place, so you've only gained 1 mana, effectively.
And then this is going to be a 0-mana Tour Guide. I follow you.
Uh-huh. Good. Thank you.
Tour Guide,
Second Shroud.
Yeah, if he does pick up field contact from that, that'd be great. However, there's an Anethron on board. It's quite scary. I guess he could go Prep Shroud if he hits field contact. Plunder. Oh my goodness, if this hits field contact, this game ends. Okay, no field contact.
Didn't hit it, so now he's got to manage his plundering.
Can still trade away the Guild Trader and hit field contact. Turn would still be
Or just get a fireball. Just get a fireball. Solves all the problems.
Well, he could still clean up much of this board and play for a lot of tempo. The problem would be he'd be cleaning up a lot of his field contact juice. I don't know.
I think I want to trade the Guild Trader and then see where I'm at, because there's an option to just
Another happy guildie.
Wound Orb the 8/6 and put my face and all the other things into it and just leave a 5/1 up for 1 turn, which is kind of, whatever. Can fling a pen at it, actually. That's even better. Then Wound Orb on the 8/6, put everything else into the 8/6, and it's gone. Or just ignore it and put a bit of a race on. Yeah, this is pretty close to the right play, I think. And finishing off with a Wound Orb onto it, just so that Soul Rend doesn't clear up.
Oh, Malevolent Strike. Okay. Malevolent Strike actually could be quite sick. For those that are unaware, Malevolent Strike is like an Assassinate, just destroy a minion. And it costs one less for each card that in the game that didn't... Oh, there you go. That didn't start there. Which Garrote Bleeds count. So you can play a Garrote, and that discounts the Malevolent Strike by 3.
Okay, that's good. And it will come about at a point in the game where you're likely to be in a critical point, right? Where the 8/8s, where the giants just start to appear, that sort of thing. There's a good chance that it'll actually matter and be cheap at that time. That's usually where the crunch happens, isn't it?
It could also just be a way for McBanterFace to just kill a minion, like kill a flesh giant, and do like, okay, well, don't have to worry about that anymore.
Saving these plunderers earlier, even though it looked painful, might pay off here, although it might just be a bit too much to deal with. No Battlemaster in Monsanto's hands, so that's something.
Yeah. Still no contact. This might have to be a passage turn because I don't think he can expend this hand for prize plunders. The problem with the passage, though, is that the prize plunders are in hand. So, like, you'd be looking at brain freezes specifically in order to bail himself out of a rough situation. He could hit like contact double brain freeze or something like that, which would be incredible. But also has, or like field contact shadow step with a brain freeze, something along those lines.
Yeah, maybe he has to play. He can fling a pen to start it off and then secret passage. Maybe that gives him. I know it costs a whole mana for 1 damage, but it means he's got access to the pen flinger.
Where would your pen even be flung towards? That's a question.
Fling it at the Anethron.
So it dies to brain freeze?
Yeah.
If you were to hit it? And he's running out of time.
Have Battlemaster. Yeah, he now can't passage.
He's just
now he's got to play everything and dump a plunderer finish.
He's going to flinger Malevolent Strike. Yep. And then... Alright, well he's kind of out of stuff now, but did clear the board, at least most of it.
Yep. He also has 7 mana passage next turn, so he can pick up things like contact into procs, into shadow steps, so it's not a disaster, but he's in a mess now. He's used a lot of resources there.
However, Monsanto's picking up nothing. Gonna alter. Looking for field contact, looking for Garrote. If he soul rends and then alters, he can actually coin out a scavenger. Interesting.
I wonder if...
Okay. Ah, but you're soul rendering garbage where your opponent might later stick some proper stuff.
Could just play a 6/6.
Just put it out there. 6/6. Played.
Well, whatever he's gonna do, he's gotta go. Now!
Wake me up.
Accustomed to the smell.
Just play the 6/6. What a madman!
Just could have had it cheap, but no, just played it as a 6/6. He's like, well, your last turn was rubbish, McBanterFace. I expect your next turn to be even rubbisher. But he was wrong!
It's quiet. Too quiet.
Okay. Banter not interested in no Octo.
That should upgrade. Probably.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, loser.
Yep, the Stepperuski.
Yeah. Setting up for potential lethal next turn.
Yep, unless he doesn't pick up his Groats.
Wasn't me.
And they get altered.
Hey, loser.
Not got them yet. He also doesn't have a neophyte, so his next turn could be in a bit of a under some duress from Monsanto. Duress isn't the right word, but it is now. I'm using that word, even if it's wrong.
Alright.
So this is the turn where Warlocks do their thing, right? You play all your cards and hope it all goes away.
Oh, double alter. Looking for Groats? Field contact, okay.
Contact. Trader.
Passage. Not good. Not
Try
good.
again. Shoot again. No.
Hog Merchant. Neophyte. Swindle. Alright. He held on to spell damage and both Groats.
Yep.
And has a 1-mana field contact. And Monsanto did his job for him by thinning his deck. That's lethal next turn.
If he has, yes, which he does because he's got the Octobot. I was going to say, just make sure he's got places to put the damage, but it doesn't matter because he's got the Guild Trader. Probably still lethal even through a neophyte.
We've seen McBanterFace slip up here before. In this exact scenario, nearly.
But he wrote a 6,000-word essay on Twitter about why it was wrong, and he's learned from the experience.
It's still difficult.
Efficient is sufficient.
He got an A+
Hey, loser.
for the 6,000-word essay.
Initiating overdrive.
All right. As long as he gets everything assigned in the right places. It is...
Actually, all he does is brain freeze, and then he just lives another turn. And then it's guaranteed the next turn. Right?
Does he have the draw? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Last 3 cards are Prep, Want Thief, Garrote. He's got plenty of draw. He's going to draw 1 naturally off the top. Would need 3 draws total. He's got Shadow Step, Penflinger. What?
Okay, I was just going to say he needs to have 2 health minions out there, but he's going to have the 1 thief that's in his deck, so he'll be okay. Otherwise he can't get the spell damage. Because the Octobot's going to die.
Oh, Monsanto concedes. All right. I'm probably playing that one out just in case he messes it up, you know? But Monsanto going to give McBanterFace the respect that at this point he very much so deserves and say, yeah, he's going to execute that. It was a guaranteed lethal the next turn, assuming that everything was just done in the proper order. So, Monsanto, the #1 seed for Americas, will fall. 0-2 in the group despite the 1 series advantage he gained by being that #1 seed. And McBanterFace, first season of Grandmasters, very first season, and just got better throughout the whole time, right? It felt like had some shaky starts to some of his weeks, but then as weeks progressed, it seemed like he just kept playing more solid and more solid. Came in as the 8th seed, by the way. Now he's going to top 4.
Yeah, the 8th seed, but also that... the way it worked out, that doesn't quite do him justice because everybody was the 5th seed. There were 5 people tied on 13 points and 1 on 14, and he was one of the 13s.
Sure.
So he was better than the 8th seed, I think, if that makes sense. Sort of an equal 5th tie sounds a lot better. But yes, on the tiebreakers and the way the rules were laid out and everything before the tournament started, he did come 8th. But yeah, he's played better than that, and he is better than that. And I like what you said about him. He started the season finding his way, but I don't mean that in a caster being polite sort of way. He just knew that he needed to sort of get used to the new environment and played what he was comfortable with, which also included the quest druid, because he was good at that at the time. Got settled in, and then